So today I've been up early, crazy early, and I have to thank one of my clients for wanting to. He's 2 hours ahead of me, so I start at 5:30 on Wednesdays in his session, and then of course my body gets used to getting up at 4 a.m. So guess what? I was up at 4 a.m. Merlin and I were both up at 4 a.m. today, and I said, that's it. I'm getting up because guess what? I have stuff to focus on. I have stuff to focus on. And what about you? What about you? What about you? Um, okay, so there was some kind of a secret formula that was given to me during my focus time creating Focus Pocus. And I want to go deeper into it with you because I have been unpacking this wisdom that has dropped in because I was focusing. And so there's something about focusing and the power of focusing. And I actually bought this book. It's backwards to you, but it's The Power of Focus. And this client that I'm getting up at 5:30 for, he told me about this book. And it has a secret power as well. Just like having it near you helps you to focus. So here's the 2 tips. I'm going to give them to you now, and I'm going to repeat them later. If you have something that says focus on it around you, keep it near you. It has magical powers. And if you say Focus Pocus, it helps you to focus. That's a quote. If you say Focus Pocus, it helps you to focus. Okay. Maybe that's a good one. So hi, Teresa. And who else is here? Let me know who else is watching right now. And I will mention your name as well. Thank you so much for coming live. So today, the real reason we fall off track, how come we fall off of focus? How come we fall off of focus? What happens to us? And I think one of the key reasons we fall out of focus is because we get tired. We don't maintain our energy. We wear ourselves out. We go on fumes and our bodies get tired. And maybe you were able to run on fumes when you were 20 years old. But when you get older, fumes don't work anymore. They don't work. And you actually have to be very conscious and pay a lot of attention to your body. And not just of course, with nutrition, of course, with sleep, but also with life force energy. And I have been studying life force energy a lot. Connie is here as well. And so Connie's the nutrition expert that has been helping me to realize that, yes, life force is an energy, but there's life force in your food. So you need to eat that. You need to eat life force. You need to breathe life force. You need to be consciously connecting with life force energy. And when you focus, there's something about focusing and life force. Because when you're focused, you can tap into the reservoirs of life force that you can collect and cultivate and practice to have inside of your body and in your energy field. And while I was downloading or while I was creating something I had never done before, I was gifted with a secret formula, which I'm now going to call the focus formula. So if you're watching this episode for the very first time, I'm Jennifer Seifert. I'm a leadership mentor, an energy strategist, a shaman. And I also come from horse racing family, so harness racing. So you might hear me say some horse racing analogies. And when it comes to focus and power and life force, I will refer to the horse because they do have a lot of teachings in that realm. And this is Receptive Radio, your tuning station. And so I'm always going to give you something to tune into around you becoming who you really are and doing your life mission and being powerful at it and creating prosperity at it. So that's what this episode is about, but all of them. So if you go back into the archives on YouTube or in the Facebook group, private Facebook group of Receptive Radio, all of the episodes that I do have something to do with realizing and self-actualizing yourself so that you can be who you are. Anyway, so please subscribe, like, or comment so that I can have a bigger impact and do my life purpose as well. So thank you so much. So back to this focus formula that I'm going to share with you. How come it dropped in? How come I actually received this wisdom and understanding that I didn't have before? And it had a few ingredients in it. First off, I decided to do something that I had never done before. And I had to create it from scratch. And it was another thing on my to-do list. So like if you already have a list like this, I added that to this list. So I had a list. This is like this week's list, but I put it on the list, and it was a short-term project inside of many long-term projects that I have going and daily, weekly things that I have to get done to grow my business, to do what I've already committed to. And so I decided to add this on, and that's the number one key ingredient. One key ingredient was the decision to do it. But because I'm a human being who is a visionary, who has lots of ideas and stuff like that, you can have a list of like, oh, I'd like to do this. I'd like to do that. I'd like to do this. I'd like to do that. How many of you have a list like that where you're like, oh, I have this idea and that idea. And you also have this as well. You also have this, where like, how do you fit all those ideas in? So you need to be able to sort through all of your ideas and prioritize the one that is the best one for you to focus on right now and will lead to the bigger things. But so I did that. And I decided I was going to create this. And I did it in a co-creation. There was other people who did the same type of a project for their own brand and own service. But I did mine called Focus Pocus. And it had a lot of elements to it that I had to like bring together, like creating a magic stew or any ritual you would need. You have to have many ingredients in it. One of the key ingredients was the delegating part of that project to somebody else in the technology arena, which I certainly could have done myself, but I delegated it and I paid for it. So that freed up space for me to focus on the content, on the energy of it, why I'm doing it, and on the teaching and the course that I created. And because I didn't block myself up with something like that I really didn't have to do, I delegated it. It gave me more space. And it created space for this formula to drop in, which really didn't drop in until right before I completed. So visionaries, leaders, people who have a lot of responsibility, we have big to-do lists. And part of being a leader is delegating. And part of being a leader is knowing which ones to prioritize and which ones are the ones to move forward. And that's part of what Focus Pocus helps you with and that, but also becoming more aware of what calls you off your focus. So I am aware of what will call me off my focus, and that is getting tired. Getting tired pulls me off my focus. So how do I not get tired? And that is what comes back to life force. I have to maintain my life force energy, and I do not want to be operating on fumes. I want to be operating on full power. How about you? Do you want to operate on full power? And full power life force means that you can push yourself, not push, but like do a little bit more one day and then rate yourself the next day. You know how to manage your energy more. You're paying more attention to where you have sprints and where you have marathons in your energy in your day. And you also are very conscious of what you're eating. I keep a journal of what I'm eating because that's part of my frequency life force plan right now, is very, very much consciously paying attention to what I'm eating, because what I eat does affect my life force. And so what am I getting at here? I'm trying to say that part of receiving this gift was also through opening up space for life force to flow through me. And when it did flow through me, it gave me this formula, because it flowed through me and I finished, I completed, and I expanded. And part of that, I'm going to show this formula here now. It's on the screen for you. I started, which meant I decided, I started, and I focused. I focused on all the parts and I delegated some of the parts. And I also focused on maintaining my energy so that all my life force and energy was available so that I could focus and finish. And then I finished and I celebrated. But along the way, during all of the ways of creating to the finish line, I was celebrating along the way. And that celebration brought excited energy. And that actually fueled more life force inside of me. It created more life force. So like, I'm still going to be unpacking this for weeks about what this teaching is all about, but I'm sharing it with you now because I want you to start learning how to celebrate all of those little wins all along the way, because that's what I was doing when I was creating it. Every day I was celebrating, oh, I finished this part. Ooh, I finished that part. Now I'm finishing that part. And I'm going to put the formula back up here. And all of that excitement built momentum. And so when I did finish and launched it and celebrated again, expansion, it totally expanded so that I could even hold more life force in my field. But I know how to hold life force because I've been practicing it for 3 years intentionally. And do you know how to hold life force in your field? Do you know how to cultivate it inside of your body? Well, I have been practicing that and teaching that. And I attribute this success that I've just had to that practice, to that regular practice of cultivating life force energy, practicing cultivating life force energy, practicing eating well, practicing being coached by a nutritionist and a personal trainer, practicing with all of my other practices that help to really bring you into alignment, practicing quieting your mind, practicing focusing your attention, practicing guiding your imagination. And when you do that, when you're focusing, it's really bloody hard for distractions to get in because you have more power over them. You have all of your power. So you're not going to bend to their will. You're going to stay focused. And voila. I want to put this formula back up here one more time because there's another part of the formula. So receiving that gift was because I was in an expanded state of consciousness. It's receiving this gift, the focus formula, was a gift from me opening up an expansion in consciousness. And that's more than just your mind. It's like your heart, your energy, everything opens up so you can receive. And through expansion and gratitude, being grateful, because connected inside a celebration is gratitude. Like it's kind of like an automated function of celebration is gratitude, being thankful. And expansion times gratitude equals prosperity. So it's like a doorway into prosperity consciousness. Focus is a doorway into prosperity consciousness, where, you know, distraction and procrastination and worry and, you know, not going towards what you know is not deciding, indecisiveness is tapped into that old consciousness of scarcity. And life force is so abundant. It's so abundant. It's so available. It's everywhere. It's in our food. It's in our water. It's in the air. It's in the earth. It's in the sun. It's in the moon. It's in our bodies. We breathe it in. It operates through our breath. It's in our sexuality. It's in all kinds of different forms. But you once you learn how to tap into it, learn how to work with it and practice it, it can take you anywhere. It can take you anywhere is what I believe and what I'm experimenting with. And the power of focus, which I'll quote the title of this book again, is super cool, super cool. And it helps you to build successful habits. And I'm going to quote this book. There's something in the book about, I've only gotten to page 2, but there's this really cool quote that I like. And it says, successful people have successful habits. Unsuccessful people don't. And life force is one of those things that I've created a practice around cultivating. And it helps you to cultivate successful habits for yourself. Like if you look at things that don't cultivate life force, like drinking or smoking or overeating and that kind of stuff, it drags you down and you feel your energy being pulled away from you or being heavy on you. Like just, even thinking about it. Can you think of it when you go into this coping where whatever it is doesn't feed you, it doesn't feel good after. It might feel good in the moment, but it doesn't feel good later. Well, life force is the opposite of that. Life force feels good all the time. When you tap into life force, things that feed you, energy, food, clarity, connection, it always feels good later too, in the moment and later. And there was no time during the creation of Focus Pocus, because I was focusing, that I felt drained. Because as soon as I started getting tired, because I'd already put 10 hours in or something, I stopped. I listened to my body. If my neck was getting sore because I was leaning in too much, I stopped. I booked a chiropractor appointment. And what I'm noticing is the more you're tapped into life force, the more you listen to what you need and the more you follow it and that guidance. And so I'm really excited about this for focus formula, and I'm excited about what else, like what is really inside of this formula. There's so much I could unpack inside of this formula. I'm going to show it to you one more time. And you can always come back to this episode and write it down or watch for more things, because I will be sharing this focus formula more and more, because I think it has something to do. I know it has something to do with entering into prosperity consciousness on a full-time permanent basis as a permanent lifestyle change for everyone. And so if you are interested now in learning more about life force with relationship to accomplishing your goals that you want to focus on, I've created a little free starter pack called the Life Force Starter Pack. And it has 3 audio downloads on it so that you can practice on your own. And these audios are from my greatest hits collection from my membership that I lead people live in life force activating practices weekly. So these are greatest hits, and they are all, themed around focus, and they can help you tap into life force energy. Be really consciously tapping into it and practicing with it and seeing what is possible for you, feeling what is possible for you, and expanding in your presence, in your receptivity, in your intuition, and in your focus, So I will put the link in the comments. And remember the tip that I told you, Focus Pocus. Start there. When you're focusing on something and you feel like you want to check out or leave away from it or do something else, you don't want to do it, focus, pocus. Say that to yourself, focus, pocus. So I'll be focus pocusing for a little bit longer today before I go to the gym. But have a wonderful afternoon, and thank you for tuning in. So grateful for you. I'm celebrating you, everything that you're accomplishing.